Now this week, instead of peering into our crystal ball at a future smartphone launch, we're instead gazing into the present at a smartphone that's already launched, this lovely wee bugger right here, the Vivo X200 Fan Edition. It's pleasingly compact and yet boasts the kind of battery tech that would make the Galaxy S25 absolutely obliterate its metaphorical Y-fronts. And that's enough blather, let's do a show. Jingle me.
Techspert Weekly.
Now your favourite, only moderately dodgy uncle has already reviewed the Vivo X200 Pro and Ultra, which boast engorgingly exciting specs but are also proper pan fillers. We're talking whoppers that'll strain your wrists worse than repeats of Space Jam. And you know what I'm talking about, that Babs Bunny. Woof! You'd probably be covered in third-degree friction burns, but totally worth it. Now, I was most disappointed when Vivo launched its X200 Pro Mini a few months back, but didn't actually bother to ship it outside of China. But they've made amends, gosh blimey, with this here X200 FE. A compact mobile that's just as mini as that Pro Mini, with the kind of specs that'll really toss your salad. That poppy POLED LTPO display is just 6.3 inches, which, yes, I know it's still pretty huge compared with actual compact phones of yesteryear, as well as other things that I often pack into my pants, sadly. But it is still slightly more dinky than the Xiaomi 15, it's just as weeny as the Pixel 9a, and it's almost as mini as the Galaxy S25, which are pretty much the only other compact phones that launched this year. So if you're already frantically assaulting your keyboards, bashing out, "That's not small," all in angry caps, well, I guess it makes a change from "Get a real job, you bald c***." So carry on. It is kind of a shame that Vivo went with an iPhone-y flat-edged finish for the X200 FE, but hey-ho, can't stop the spread of the Apple rot. And at least it comes in some rather lovely colours like this here Blue Breeze effort, as well as a bright and charming yellow, which admittedly looks a bit like piss, and also a poppy pink, which looks a bit like piss after far too many watermelon Bacardi breezes. And the Fan Edition is also IP68 and IP69 rated, just like the Pro and Ultra models, so not only can it survive being fully submerged in water, it can tolerate a serious spurting too. Despite its compact stature, the Vivo X200 FE packs in MediaTek's Dimensity 9300 Plus, backed by either 12 or 16 gigs of the good stuff. I've got the 12 gig model. So yes, Wuthering Waves and other memory guzzlers play with a perfectly smooth frame rate. Although the Fan Edition does seem to heat up a bit with prolonged play. I'll be testing that more for my full review. And somewhat incredibly, Vivo has apparently crammed a 6,500 mAh capacity silicon anode battery into this dinky wonder. And for sheer size, that beats all other compact phones and pretty much all other phones as well. I mean, that's a bigger capacity than the X200 Pro and the Ultra, for flip's sakes. So whatever you get up to on this thing, be it plenty of Wuthering Waves action or perhaps just freeze frame and Space Jam at strategically sound moments, you shouldn't be balls deep in that power saver mode by the time you're all tucked up with Teddy. Oh, and the Vivo X200 FE also supports 90-watt wired fast charging, perfect for those "oh bugger, I forgot to plug it in for a couple of days" type moments. Although sadly, absolutely bugger all love for wireless charging, which is a bit poo. For the camera tech, the Fan Edition uses a more affordable hardware setup. So you've got a 50 meg Zeiss branded camera using Sony's IMX921 sensor, plus a second 50 meg IMX882 telephoto shooter, and of course a basic 8 meg ultra wide. And plus there's yet another 50 meg sensor for that front facing selfie cam, hooray hooray, so Uncle Spurt's saggy old chops can be enjoyed in their full dehydrated glory. So overall, as long as you're not too averse to Vivo's slightly janky FunTouch OS launcher shenanigans, the X200 Fan Edition seems to be an absolute cracker. And once I'm done reviewing a certain other smartphone that launched earlier this week, I'll be swapping my SIM into this bugger and stashing it in my shorts for a full review. But in the meantime, it would be great to hear your early impressions on the Vivo X200 FE. Is it a mini marvel or is it a pointless short arse? Let us know in the comments below. And now, my lovelies, it's time for yet another Wee One. Uncle Spurt's Wee One. It's a short review, not his penis. Xiaomi's fresh new Smart Band 10 has just launched globally, and it's an affordable way of realising just how much of an out-of-shape, greasy sack of lardy vomit you really are. It costs just £40 here in Blighty, which is approximately the same as 25 packs of pork scratchings or 30 cans of Tennent's super strength lager. So hey, just buying one is already helping you to get healthy. That 1.7-inch AMOLED screen is surrounded by supremely skinny bezels and features some respectable auto brightness smarts. And when it's sunny out, this is comfortably bright, so you can clearly see just how disappointing your steps count is, or how terrifyingly high your heart rate has climbed every time you wander out down to the corner shop for some licorice laces and some beef jerky. You've got literally hundreds of different watch faces that you can choose between, although admittedly some of these do look like they were designed by a 5-year-old on MS Paint. And you've also got an always on display feature, although this is so dim that you can only really see it if you happen to be spelunking at the time. And that UI is pretty easy to navigate, although some of the features are quite buried away. And you've also got very basic notification support, with a level of vibration that your mum would certainly approve of. There's also the obligatory sleep tracking and support for over 150 different kinds of sports, including swimming and other watery shenanigans. The Xiaomi Smart Band 10 can be snaffled in silver as well as black or pink, and you don't even have to wear it on your wrist. You can also dangle it around your neck using this pearl chain pendant. All you got to do is snap off the straps and slap on that chain. I'm sure Flavor Flav would approve, especially as he's probably pushing 80 now, and dangling a massive metal clock around his neck will probably play merry havoc with his sciatica. Just 16 grams, this mate. Battery life is superb as ever. You'll get almost 10 full days of use from a 100% charge, and that's with basically all of the features and tracking switched on. So overall, bit of a banger for not much bucks. And that's another wee one for the week, kiddies. And now it's time for the part of the show that's probably going to significantly boost the old blood pressure. It's viewer comments.
Viewer comments.
That is wrong what you did!
Alright, so let's start this week with Noisy Boys, who says, Chris, I don't wish to sound pedantic. Oh, pedantic comment incoming. But this week is episode 243, not 232. Oh, piss flaps. Yes, made a bit of a boo-boo there. Not quite sure how that happens. Just magically leapt back in time 10 weeks. I'm going to get that changed right now. And there you go. Just goes to show you don't need maths or anything to be a YouTuber. So yeah, just say bollocks to school, kiddies. Aslan Kwama says, Uncle Spurt appears to be the type of uncle with whom you could confidently leave your children, knowing they would gain unique life experiences. Unique life experiences. That makes me sound a wee bit molesty. I mean, they would certainly learn some new vocab to try out on their parents and teachers, and also possibly develop a lifelong booze addiction. Nilo821 says, how tall are you, if you don't mind me asking? I'm a complete short arse, mate, 5 foot 10 inches if I'm wearing fairly thick heels. And put it this way, whenever I'm in a supermarket, I have to ask normal-sized people to fetch things off the top shelves for me. Now, last week we briefly discussed thumbnails and what is actually best. My one's what I knock up in about 3.5 seconds, or the slightly more processed variety, which probably take at least an extra minute and an awful lot of clip art. And the feedback is in, so Raven6771 says, 0 f***s given thumbnails are what we love the most. Barry Mowcroft says, your thumbnails are instantly recognizable. That's probably mostly because I look about 30 years older than all these other tech twats. Rajith Fernando says, that thumbnail looks like the thumbnail crew from Mr. Who's the Boss puked all over it. And Red Hydrangea says, those Mr. Beast thumbnails are not even close to Mr. Spurt's great style. Thank you very much, very kind of you all. Mr. Beast, Jesus Christ, there's another poor bastard who's even more dead behind the eyes than I am. Between those dead, dark peepers and that fake smile which never seems to leave his bloody face, he's definitely the most serial killer looking motherfucker on the whole of YouTube. And if there are any other YouTubers out there who look even more likely to have nasty smells wafting from beneath their patio, well, definitely let us know. Phil Caesar says, Percy over-egged that pudding. And Jason McMeekin says, don't change your thumbnails, I prefer your pasty white face rather than that Stranger Danger version. And Michael Wisdom says, your thumbnail is better, although sometimes I'd love to see the back of the phone too, so I'll easily know whether I'll watch. what's all this whether I'll watch stuff? Easy solution here is just basically watch all of my videos because they're all cracking. Shoe7165 says, please make a video of the Fairphone 6. And likewise, Ewan Marshall says, Uncle Spurt, are you planning to review the Fairphone Gen 6 at some point? I will do if they send me one, certainly, but I'm absolutely not chasing any more review samples right now because I've only just covered the OnePlus Nord phones. Those reviews will be going live next week when the embargo lifts. And I've got the Nothing Phone 3, I've got this bugger right here, the Sony Xperia 1 Mark 7 all stacked up ready for review as well. Yeah, stay tuned, I guess. Roboruns says, to be fair, most people in the US shop online. Don't even know why carrier stores still exist. But yeah, the market is awful. That's why I buy global variants from brands that push the envelope. Typed on my Vivo X200 Pro. Nice choice of blower. It'd be interesting to hear your thoughts on the Fan Edition, and also anyone else who's got the Vivo X200 Pro or Ultra if you'd be tempted to swap to a more compact model. X Factor Gaming 72 says, yo Unc, what is up? Well, mostly the cost of living and my blood pressure, am I right? GH221177 says, I miss the crap bald celebrity lookalike section. Have you seen the Ocean credit card advert with the bald guy and the sumo? The bald guy has your eyebrows, he's your bloody doppelganger. Alright, well let's see if we can find this bad boy on YouTube. Oh yeah, that looks like it. Let's have a watch. Is this guy even real? He looks kind of CGI. Oh Christ, maybe I'm CGI. Is any of this actually real? I bloody hope not. Now, on his eyebrows, I mean, come on dude, mine are at least 50% more luxuriously tufty than this dude's, whether he's computer generated or not. Certainly computers could not generate anything this fine. And Lord Burke says, I always make it right to the end, just like your mum. In that case, thank you very much, Lord Burke, and thank you to everyone else who's made it to the end of this tripe, all three of you. I've got a terrifying amount to shoot and edit lined up, so I better call it right there. But a massive thank you to everyone who commented last week. And what do I normally say at this bit? Please do comments down below, and we'll cover those as many as possible next week. And speaking of next week,
Next week, what the f is next week?
So next week there won't actually be a Techspert Weekly. Sorry, I'm buggering off to Dubai of all places for Huawei's big global launch. Yes, for some inexplicable reason they're having it in Dubai in July. So hopefully, with any luck, I'll bring you some hands-on fondly action of their new Purus smartphones before I just melt into a greasy northern puddle. And next week is going to be, frankly, an absolute show as far as tech stuff's concerned. You've got the Nothing Phone and the OnePlus Nord embargoes lifted on Tuesday, I think it is. Then next week you've also got Samsung Unpacked, where the Galaxy Z Fold 7 and Flip 7 will be launching. I'll be bringing you some hands-on action with that too. And then of course the Melton in Dubai Huawei shenanigans. And before I bugger off to Dubai, I'm also hoping to fit in my Nintendo Switch 2 review. I've had that one for just over 3 weeks now, so I'm just about ready to bang on about that. So yeah, expect plenty of old man complains that gaming isn't quite as good as it used to be type shenanigans. Because after all, I still reckon that video games peaked with Jet Set Willy. Anyway, massive thanks for the handful of people who might still be with me. Please do poke subscribe and ding that notifications bell if you haven't done so already, and have yourselves a friggin' wonderful weekend. Cheers everybody, love you!